In 1241, Europe stood on the edge of collapse. Two armies had already been destroyed, entire regions were burning, and no one knew how to stop them. An enemy from the east, faster, smarter, and more ruthless than anything Europe had faced before. The armies of Genghis Khan had already conquered vast parts of Asia. Now, they were moving into Europe, and in just a matter of months, they would come closer to total victory than most people realize. Before pushing deeper into Europe, Mongol forces devastated major cities in Eastern Europe. One of the most important was Kiev. In 1240, the city was besieged by Mongol forces. Its walls were strong, its defenders were determined, but the Mongols brought siege weapons and relentless pressure. After breaching the city, Kiev was almost completely destroyed. Large parts of the population were killed, and the city was left in ruins. The fall of Kiev sent a clear message. No city was safe. By the early 13th century, the Mongol Empire had become the largest contiguous land empire in history. Following the death of Genghis Khan in 1227, expansion did not slow. It accelerated. Mongol commanders continued campaigns across Central Asia and into Eastern Europe. One of the key figures behind these invasions was Subutai. Subutai was not a traditional battlefield commander. He was a strategist. He coordinated multiple armies across vast distances, often attacking from several directions at once. By 1241, Mongol forces had entered Europe. Their objective was clear: defeat regional powers before they could unite into a larger defensive force. The Mongols did not advance as a single army. They divided their forces. One moved toward Poland, another advanced into Hungary. This created confusion among European leaders. There was no clear main target. Communication between kingdoms was limited, and coordination was slow. The Mongols exploited this. Their armies moved quickly, often covering vast distances in short periods of time. They relied on mobility, intelligence gathering, and psychological warfare. By the time European forces reacted, it was already too late. To European armies, the Mongols seemed impossible to defeat. But their success was not random. It was built on key advantages. Each warrior often had multiple horses, allowing them to travel vast distances quickly. They used signal flags, horns, and messengers to coordinate movements across large areas. They adopted new tactics, including siege warfare, when facing fortified cities. This combination made them fundamentally different from European armies of the time. At the same time, a second Mongol army entered Hungary. The Hungarian king, Balathor, assembled a large force and established a defensive position near the Sajo River. The Mongols again used coordinated strategy. One force attacked a bridge, drawing attention. Another crossed the river at a different point. By morning, Mongol forces had positioned themselves around the Hungarian camp. This led to the Battle of Mohi. The Mongols applied pressure from multiple directions. They used ranged attacks, mobility, and controlled openings to manipulate movement. When Hungarian forces attempted to retreat, they were exposed. The army collapsed. The defeat was severe. Hungary was left vulnerable. The Mongols did not rely on combat alone. They used fear as a weapon. Cities were often given a choice: surrender or be destroyed. If a city resisted and was defeated, the consequences were severe. Word spread quickly. As a result, some cities surrendered without resistance. This allowed the Mongols to expand rapidly with minimal losses. After victories at Battle of Legnica and Battle of Mohi, Mongol forces pushed further west. Raiding parties entered regions such as Austria and parts of modern-day Czech lands. These were not full invasions, but they demonstrated something critical. The Mongols could go further. There was little organized resistance left to stop them. With Poland and Hungary defeated, there were few organized forces left to resist. The Mongols had demonstrated their ability to defeat European armies in open battle. Their path into Central Europe was now open. But at this critical moment, the invasion stopped. The sudden withdrawal of Mongol forces is one of the most important moments in the story. The death of Genghis Khan in 1241 triggered a political requirement. Senior leaders were expected to return east to take part in the selection of the next great Khan. This was not optional. It was essential to maintaining control of the empire. As a result, the Western campaign lost momentum. What looked like a retreat was actually a shift in priorities. There is evidence that Subutai was planning a much larger campaign. His strategy involved defeating armies in sequence, weakening Europe's ability to respond, potentially advancing deeper into the continent. The victories in 1241 were not the end goal. They were preparation. The Mongols did not turn back because they were defeated. They turned back because they were summoned. The great Khan had died, and Mongol leaders were required to return east. Europe was not saved by strength or strategy, but by circumstance. Because if the invasion had continued, the outcome may have been very different. The empire built by Genghis Khan had already reshaped the world. And for a brief moment in 1241, it came within reach of Europe.